welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you for downloading and checking us out this week. I want to know what's going on in Booster City, Kevin.
Booster City, can't you see? Oh, wait, no, wait.
Yeah, you guys have docked
on Critical Hit.
Boosters. Way ahead. No credits. No reward this time.
You shouldn't have lost me.
You're fined. Anyway, you have docked in Booster City on the planet of Akaton after successfully completing your race, but you still have not figured out the mystery. You're digging in. You're looking for the trash wyverns that are your friends. That is basically where we got last time.
On Critical Hit.
Critical Hit.
And so, you have the coordinates of Muckrakers, evidently the local office that you can go to contact for Society Deck Collection, Inc., which has seized your friends, or some of your friends, the Trash Wyverns, a group of Yosoki youth that some of you are familiar with, and you were seeking their contacts and information on maybe helping you with the suspicious data pad that's way too clean and perfect that Rain gave you, which is the official synopsis of what happened to Team Elysium when they were supposedly killed off in an accident 3 years ago during Drifters.
Man, the closer we get to Muckrakers, the more nervous Bob becomes, because he's dealt with indentured servitude type situations before.
Yeah. No, I mean, you guys are so some of you are new to Booster City, some of you aren't. I would say Vangie and Hecubino, you've been here before for sure. Mm-hmm. And Skritic, I'll leave it up to you.
I'm just going to go ahead and say probably not this particular location.
Not this one? Okay, cool. So Vangie and Hecubino kind of know your way around. Everybody else, this is new to you. But crowds just pack these small, twisting, narrow streets. They're predominantly Yosoki and Hilki. Hilki are like basically just red-skinned humans. Like they have this deep red that is evocative of the color of Akaton, actually.
The Belt Gang.
Yes. But yeah, most people are Yosoki or Hilki, but there are also several large four-armed Shopods who are much bigger than a human, for instance, and there are also some diminutive floating brains that you recognize as contemplatives. Plus, there are just tons of other aliens looking to score some scrap or cheap labor, or in all likelihood, some black market supplies. You see flickering neon signs advertising intoxicant lounges, VR suites that are cleaned daily.
Ew.
Gross.
Weapon and armor surplus depots and intergalactic brothels and the like. You can also see, as you're walking through the streets, some signs that are clearly posted by hand for things like missing people or bounty notices or day laborer meetups. And so you twist through this web of things. You have to sometimes go upstairs and kind of go up cliffs, because keep in mind, this is all built on the side of a crater. So you are moving in 3 dimensions sometimes throughout this, and there's like electrical wires going through, and there's drones zipping by, and people kind of jostle you on the street and don't think anything of it.
Okay.
But you have your directions to go to Muckrakers. Do you guys do anything on your way?
I'll take a look at like some of those impromptu signs for just in case there's anything surprising on them in terms of bounties or are missing people or anything else that calls out.
Well, so you notice a lot of the bounties are basically community bounty boards that have been set up by like local, like neighborhood watches, basically.
Are there particular, like, what are the bounties for, or?
I mean, a lot of them are. So there's a lot of extortion / burglary gangs around here, and so neighborhood watches have tried to stop that. And there's sometimes it veers off into, it's like, okay, this person's just clearly trying to stop like a predatory gang from extorting them, whereas this person's clearly starting to start a like union and rise up against their industrial oppressors, and that's just a totally different world altogether. So
Neat.
As you go, what are your passive perceptions? So what I mean by that is, let's say you rolled a 10 on your perception. What would it be?
15.
21.
Okay. Very good.
17.
10.
20 for me.
I missed Hecubino's and Quentin's. Hecubino?
20.
Great. Quentin?
17.
Okay, cool. So a few of you can spot some would-be pickpockets that are looking to either literally steal from you, like take things off your person, or just like walk nearby you with one of those like decrypting magnetizer appliances that will try to rob your credit sticks blind if they're not properly secured. So we'll say that Skritic and Hecubino, you guys just have them cold, and Quentin, you had a 17?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you also notice.
Yes. Pay attention to your credit sticks, everyone.
I'd brandish my survival
will-
knife and make some pointed eye contact at several individuals.
So, Skritic, I imagine like you make shady eye contact with other shady eye contact type people, and it's just like, I'm looking at you. I've got my fingers are at my eyes, my fingers are at your eyes. I see you. Nothing's happening, and they're like, "Yeah, we see you too. You're good for now," and they stalk off. Quentin, you inform everyone that to keep hold of their credit sticks, and maybe you float a little bit higher.
Mhm. If anyone looks directly at me, there might possibly be a small buzz saw that and then disappears.
Hecubino, what do you do?
I'm gonna try and trap one.
Okay, so you trap a young Hilky kid, and she gives you the aw shucks. Ah, man, I'm so sorry. I've been forced into this.
Hey! Shh. Hang on. Here's a credit. What do you know about the trash wyverns?
Oh, the trash wyverns. They're pretty cool, Yosoki.
Okay.
No,
You know what they're in trouble for?
Around recently.
Yeah. You know what happened to them?
Oh man, I wish I could remember.
Hey, he just caught you trying to pick his pocket. Come on.
What? No, now we're just talking. We're friends now, right?
Sure. Let's call
You
it
capture
2 credits.
stick.
Yeah. Let's
Like,
call
for
it 2
more
credits, and I
transfers.
don't feed you to my Vesk.
She bares her teeth.
Ah, come on. You wouldn't do that, would you? Innocent little me.
Maybe
Well-
just a nibble.
Listen, we just tore up through the Red Belt gang, so we're kind of short on time here.
All right, geez. I heard they got stats for deck collection.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? You know
Well,
anything about muckrakers?
Oh, well, come on. You know those sorts of operations, right? No one comes out of there. I mean, maybe we'll see them in 20 years.
Do I get the sense that this kid knows anything else?
Good. You know what? You succeed at your sense motive check, and you think that this kid was trying to pick your pocket and knows the local gang scene a little bit. So,
Sure.
in essence, no.
Okay. I'll give them the 2 credits and send them off their way.
Woohoo! Wanted to steal 100 credits from you, but I'll take 2.
Better than nothing.
2 and not dying.
Yep.
All right. So, you guys keep making your way to Muckrakers?
Hmm?
All right. Yeah. So, along this stretch of, it's a mix of dingy and brightly colored. So, think neon where some of the letters are burnt out, and there's like a bright green wall, except it's really dusty and it hasn't been painted in a decade. And there's a blood stain on part of it. So it's a mix of feelings as you're walking down this strip. Strip near Muckrakers is full of things like pawn shops and early payment to credit caching facilities and any other kind of dubious loan facilities as well. There's a bail officer there, and then you see the sign for Muckrakers, which is very neat, and it has all of its letters cleanly lit in a bright green neon.
Okay. The whole Blade Runner chic.
So you approach, and Muckrakers has a small office you guys can enter. It's got like little automatic doors that open for you, and it's very clean and it's very brightly colored. So think of a dentist's office operated by clowns on psychedelic drugs.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yep.
Kevin, do you need to talk to somebody? Do you need an adult? I mean,
look, this last year, I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's
blink
fair.
twice.
Oh no, it's a podcast. You can't see me blink.
All right. So well, is there anybody actually like at a desk or a window?
So there's a waiting room, and there's a single receptionist, a bored-looking, hilky teen. The only thing throwing off the overall appearance, the overall look, aesthetic, is the slight shimmer of a force field protecting the receptionist, and the fact that the only door deeper into the office is like a heavy-duty reinforced automatic steel door.
Yeah. I'll walk up to the receptionist.
Hello, welcome to Muckrakers. How can I assist you?
Hey, I'd like to talk to Nibbles.
Please input. Is Nibbles? What is Nibbles?
Oh, Nibbles is somebody that you're holding.
All right. Please input the ID number of the mucker that you would like to see in the pad provided below.
Okay, put it in.
You don't know the ID number.
I don't.
No, it's just a made-up nonsense bureaucratic term. You have no idea what this guy's talking about.
So I got a message back from Muckrakers that didn't have any of this information.
No.
Oh, okay. I will hand it to Quentin. And I'll be like, I'm not sure what the number is. Where do I go about finding that out?
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Hack it.
I'm gonna hack it. It's hacked. I'm hacking. How do I hack?
That would be a computer's check, my friend.
Ooh, I'm not as good at that as other things, but I'm good at that. So Quentin is going to go and interface with the thing and roll a 24.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I mean, you quickly you actually intercept the wire going to and from the data pad, and you just convert all. It's like, your code has been rejected. You're like, no, my code has been accepted, and they're like, all right, your code has been accepted, and then you deconnect to it. It's like,
It's the Jedi mind trick.
Yep. Not a totally secure protocol, and you're able to intercept it on the wire. Because this is this place doesn't overly invest in information security. So he's like, oh, how about that? A visitor. All right, you'll have to speak with the manager.
All right.
He just types a bunch of stuff on his pad. It's like, all right, right this way. You'll have to leave your weapons outside.
Sure.
You can place them in the bin provided. It's just a giant bucket.
Would any of you guys mind staying out here, or does anybody care to come in?
I mean, I'd like to see the guys again.
Yeah.
We can wait out here.
Yeah, Bob's
Okay.
definitely waiting out here.
All right.
Anyone who waits out
it's
there will
probably
be able
most
to engage in
comical.
all the fun scenes that happen inside.
Quentin will definitely go in because, I mean, in the strictest sense, there's no weapons for him to put down.
I think it will be most comical for Hecubino to hand Amu his little blaster, and then for Vangi to hand Bob her giant rifle and pike.
And flamethrower.
Yeah, that's what it is, the flamethrower. And then Hecubino will be like, it's up to you, Bob. Obviously, you've had your own issues with law and stuff, but it doesn't look like this place is very secure. So if you want to peek in somehow, and you have the means to do it, there'll be a stranger.
I look at Amu. So do we go in?
Well, who is going in and who is not going in?
Quentin is going in.
Quentin in.
I am going in.
Hecubino in.
Vangi's
Vangi
going
in.
Skritic was wanting to go in.
Skritic in. So then there's Bob and Amu, and so on what you guys have in the waiting room is basically, like I said, the bizarre, super clashing colors of a psychedelic waiting room, along with the what's it called? The jazz music that plays in the
elevator musical?
Muzak. Yeah. Along with Muzak,
Sweet.
interstellar Muzak, and a bored teenager as your receptionist. So you guys can either continue with the path of adventure or stay here where nothing will happen. It is up to you. It is totally up to you.
Oh
Well,
my
that's
god,
tempting.
everyone come in.
All right, we'll go in.
If only to see a pike in a bucket.
Can I do a sleight of hand to cheek a knife?
Absolutely. This guy doesn't seem to be really doing anything to enforce the rules. I mean, he might say something about, I don't know, a pike or something like that. But there definitely seems to be, he's not patting you down.
Well, not
I'm
an
sorry,
awesome roll. I
Did
got a
you
20.
say cheek knife?
Yeah.
Cheek.
By the
How
way,
cheeky.
My cheek pouch.
But that just seems so painful.
Yeah, that's what sheets
Some
are
knives
for.
have sheaths.
That's why I don't have cheeks.
Just, like a little clasp sheath.
All right.
And I,
So
put my pistol into.
are there any weapons people are explicitly keeping on themselves?
Amu doesn't consider anything they're carrying an actual weapon.
Legit. Vangi?
I'll keep my mace just because it's I can keep on. It's pretty small. It's kind of like a hammer.
Okay. Quentin?
Quentin's quadra-titanium construction makes it so that his weapons are essentially built in, And he may be able to hack into the system and tell him everything's fine here.
Legit, Hecubino?
I will make a big show of leaving my blaster in the bucket. You know, that thing that does like 1/8 the damage that my brain does.
Your brain is your best weapon. Skritic?
Yep, I'll hand in my tactical pistol and cheek that knife.
Okay.
Knife in one cheek and a rifle in the other.
Bob's pistol is buried deep in one of his big pockets on his coveralls things. He just looks at the person and says, I'm a pilot, and just walks in.
All right. So behind the door opens up into like 4, triangular parts and opens. And all of you guys are admitted into a little hallway, and then closes behind you. And you're guided by the receptionist to a moderately sized office. It can fit all of you, but not too many more people. It is, again, very garish in its decor with bright clashing primary and secondary colors. And one wall is covered in pictures featuring the inhabitant of this office, who I will describe momentarily, with various dignitaries and industry magnates, all featuring this character Spago in bizarre poses. So let's talk about the person who you see when you enter. So his name is Spago, as he'll introduce himself in a moment. And he is a Quarlu. So that means most of you probably don't even know what a Quarlu is, although Amu recognizes it instantly. He has 4 legs, and he is very large by human standards, with a kind of almost conical body, wider at the bottom and narrowing at the top. And 3 tentacle arms erupting at various points on his torso, and 3 eye stalks above a slug-like head at the top of the cone. He has to be 200 kilos easy. And then Amu, because of your super special life science know everything check, you know that Quarlu are silicon based, they're fire resistant and vulnerable to cold. They don't have a metabolism quite like any other being, as they basically have like a furnace inside them, and they are multi-dexterous and have no front or back facing really. Plus, they are excellent tunnelers. So he is dressed in vibrant silks of blue, green, and purple, attached by various pins and buckles, all made of precious metals. He jingles whenever he moves due to the numerous gold and platinum chains dangling around him like wind chimes. He moves very fluidly and easily, as if he doesn't have bones. Amu, he doesn't. And he's pretty light on his feet. So it's when we get to conversing with him, it's a little tricky to make what many of you would consider normal eye contact with him, because his eye stalks seem to look in a bunch of different directions all at once. But you can generally tell he's paying attention if at least one eye stalk is pointed in your general direction. And when he speaks, his mouth opens to reveal grinding plates instead of teeth, and his breath is superheated and raises the temperature of the room a solid 5 degrees.
Wow.
Speaking of which, his skin maintains a constant iridescent shine. And so he will greet you. Also, as you enter, of course, there is a cacophony of 3 different opera tracks playing simultaneously at a very high volume.
Of course.
Hecubino makes a point of remembering what this sounds like.
Okay, to use for future.
Yes,
mental
to use
attacks.
offensively later.
And as he notices you, he gestures and turns down the volumes on all of his opera tracks, and he says, "Greetings, my apologies. I am Spago. We Quarlu love opera as it reminds us of our childhood lullabies. Did you know I once considered going into the theater myself? Alas, I was rejected due to the obvious scratchy, jarring sensation of listening to my voice. Now, what can I do for you? Are you looking for a tunnel to be mucked out? Perhaps your new money, looking to invest your credits in a growing industry unburdened by oversight and regulation? Or are you looking to make a drop-off? Note, we only handle minor offenders here. The truly dangerous ones must be handled by the society's magistrate." He smiles awkwardly at you.
We are looking to talk to someone you are holding here.
Oh, a mucker, a worker?
Mhm.
And who would you be looking to talk to?
Nibbles, and if we could actually talk to Nibbles and her crew, that would be best.
Oh, we don't allow the associations from their pre-mucking time. But if you mean some of her compatriots in her muck crew, of course.
Right.
That can be arranged. And who are you?
I'm Hecubino. This is Vangy. And the rest. We are Team Lizard Brain from the Drifters TV show.
Well, what brings you here?
Well, we were and Hecubino gets leans in and probably wipes some sweat. See, we're trying to do this segment, right? And we know
Reconnecting
Nibbles
with
and-
our roots.
Yeah. It's like we think that people who watch the show would be really interested to see where we come from. But of course, when we try to get in contact with some of the people that we knew before, they are muckers now. So we thought that we could come here, shoot a segment, talk to them, and see if we could get some publicity out of it.
Publicity. We're not usually an organization that wants too much publicity. I think we operate well just at the edges of society, something people don't know they rely upon, but that happens below the surface all the time. Don't you agree?
I mean, I get it. And I look at everybody else and then look back at him. I get it. We can give you a final say over either we can give you a final say over the segment, or we can just not disclose where we found our compatriots.
Allow me to consult with my head of security. And he presses a little button on his desk, and in comes and as he comes in, Spago will say, "Scophos!" And Scophos is he's coming in right behind you guys, a large bovine-like humanoid, which is a type of alien called a noir. So for imagery, think of a minotaur in dirty camo colored pants, wearing a t-shirt that says, "Ask me for directions and you die," in all caps. Along with a minotaur skull covered in blood. That's all on his t-shirt. He's heavily armed with a tactical cryopike and a frostbite class 0 rifle, which just means he shoots cold beams at you.
Sure.
And he's armored in a patchwork fashion, like, one shoulder pad with like a strap over his chest, and the knee pads, and an ammo belt with some frag grenades attached to it, that kind of thing. But somehow he gets the full AC benefit.
Sure.
One of his horns is broken at the tip, and his matted fur is like a whitish gray, and he has bright red eyes that roll around ominously like a half-deranged horse.
Yeah, Bangu just looks at like him and looks at the pike and like lets out what would like probably be a whistle, but for a vest it's more like a hiss. It's just like, nice.
Are these new muckers? No, not at all. These are guests, Scophos. They wish to speak with some of the muckers. They'll need to wear slap wraps. Of course. You don't mind abiding by our security protocols, I assume.
And what are they?
You'll need to wear slap wraps, which will prevent external communications, attempts to free the prisoners, things like that.
Oh, right.
Oh, and by the way, so Scophos is my head of security. He may look a bit rough and tumble, but I assure you, he's actually quite scarier than he appears in person. Do not visit his infosphere profile. That leads to some crazy stuff.
Noted. Hikibino will make a note to later definitely go to Scophos Infosphere profile.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, this guy looks rad. It's too bad that everybody on this team has like pulled their weight 1,000%, because I would consider trading one of them for Scophos. But everybody's been doing really good, so
He could be our wild card.
yeah.
Wild card. All right, so if you wish to take a tour of the facilities, I am of course willing to engage with Scophos here, assuming you abide by our protocols, as I said.
Absolutely.
And Scophos just turns and looks at you and says, "Slap wraps for everyone."
Okay. I scrutinize the slap wrap before putting it on.
For those things from the 90s, right? Those things from that you could whack on your wrist.
The slap bracelets?
Assuming they weren't. Yeah.
That like there was a whole panic about because sometimes the metal would come out and cut people.
Sometimes they would cut you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sweet.
These are just like those, except they're, they immediately sequence your DNA and bond to you and track you wherever you're going.
Great.
Scophos will whack each one of you on the wrist that has a wrist with a slap wrap. For people that don't have wrists, he will like slap you with one of them and it just sticks to you.
Oh.
So I think that's going to be most applicable to Amu and Quentin. For Quentin, he digs out a special one because... Actually, no. You should be just as susceptible to it as Bob or anybody else. So yeah. Yep.
And you slaps it onto his chassis.
Yep. You can feel your recording sensors shutting off, and your infosphere connection goes away as well. Most don't have that innate connection, but Quentin does.
Yeah, it's terrible. I was just looking at Scophos' profile.
It was just getting good.
I know, right?
Cool. So, very well. If you're all ready, I suppose I can escort you.
Yeah, let's go.
So then, you guys are all led from the office into just down a little hallway to another reinforced door, which is followed by an elevator. So it can only hold probably the 8 of you tops. So you're all super cozy. So Spago is both a little wet and very, very warm. Whereas Scophos is tall and kind of breathy and breathes on top of all of you and kind of snarls if any of you looks at him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the rest of you are all shoulder to shoulder with each other too.
Yeah, I've been on this bus before.
Scophos is probably going to spend most of the time snarling because Amu's probably not going to stop looking at him or.
Oh, that reminds me. You guys can give me a culture check, mostly for Spago, for the Quarlu.
Oh, it's better than the last one.
You guys are terrible.
Nice.
Ow. 1, 2,
Yay!
3 failed rolls.
I got a 10.
So
Yay!
Squiddick just now. Brian, was that 16 just rolled just this moment?
Yeah, that was for this.
Oh, good work. So Squiddick and Squiddick alone will know. So basically, nobody knows really what the deal with Noir are. There aren't that many of them, and they basically look like creepy, scary Minotaur people. Fair enough. But Squiddick, you know that most Quarlu value song and art above material wealth due to a culture that accepts impermanence of physical objects due to their extremely volcanically active homeworld, where the vast majority of Quarlu grow gypsum and other crystals for subsistence.
Okay.
So, evidently, this one has gone off into business for himself. All right, so you guys are all in this elevator, getting real cozy with one another, and it moves slowly and jerkily. It's one of those elevators that feels like it should have been replaced a decade or 4 ago. And it just hercules-jerkily goes the whole length, and then when it eventually stops and settles, you're very uncertain how deep exactly you have gone. And the elevator door opens up, and there are a couple of, half broken down security robots standing nearby, and Scophos leads the way along with Spago, and you see the below the surface workplace of Muckrakers, which is a disheveled mess. There are a bunch of prisoners with jobs that all have collars, basic uniforms. You see a little station where they can get their limited rations, and then you see that they're all wielding or carrying rather muck rakes, which are these weird hoe-like tools that are they're a combination between something you actually whack into the ground and a scanner. So think of a hoe and a metal detector in one. And they're used to scrape, as Spago informs you, through sandworm slime. So you can see down here that they've gotten into some of the tunnels that Booster City is built atop, and there are dozens of people imprisoned in dank, dark cells under the surface. And just looking at them, they remind you of totally forgotten people. They look really hollow and lost. Their crimes and debts likely repaid 100 times over. And there are signs that say, "Work hard enough, pay your debts, and you'll be free in no time." And then under that, there's estimated time to freedom 4.6 years.
Very uplifting.
I'm going to make every attempt to surreptitiously turn off the snap cuff florp snorps.
The slap
without
rounds?
anyone seeing me. Yeah, I'm going to deactivate them.
So the moment you start fitzing with them, like right nearby, you
Yes,
just
quick.
immediately draw Scophos' attention. Like he just looks at you with both of his red eyes.
I want to bluff,
Sure.
pretend that I'm not doing anything while continuing to hack the cuffs. 21.
He snorts in your face, gives you some red eyes, and pushes you in front of him, and then keeps walking.
Emotionless green smiley face staring at him as I continue to hack the cuffs.
He seems to be actively watching you, Quentin. So, like, actively hacking the cuff is going to give you a huge penalty right now.
How huge is huge?
5 to 10, somewhere in there.
That's years of indentured servitude to the Muckrakers.
I'm going to wait till he looks away.
Sure.
Then we'll try again.
Sure. So you wait for your opportunity, but right now, so one thing you actually give me a quick sense motive check, Quentin.
Oh, I'm good at those too. 13.
All right. You can't really. He's pretty impassive, but you do get the sense that he is actively paying attention, like that this is his job and he takes it seriously. So, Quentin, you can tell that Scophos has at least one of his eyes on you for a while. So you might need to wait for your moment to try to interfere with the cuffs that they literally just put on you. He's clearly like the head of security and relatively on the ball. So if you start messing with things, he might start messing with you.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
can I rotate to where my face is still facing him, but the cuffs are away, just in case he stops looking at me?
If you rotate his cuffs away from him, if you rotate your cuffs away from him, he is likely to pay more attention to you, not less.
Man. All right.
Just saying, you're up against like the head prison guard, basically.
Fine. All right. I'll wait for my moment.
You're like right next to him, so maybe wait for a moment.
His taxes.
So then Spago will wax poetic. What is Muckrakers? It's a licensed, for-profit, remote enforced work opportunity zone for those with a debt to society to repay. And by society, I of course mean Society Debt Collection, Inc. And he gives you a guided tour of the facilities, which are basically an indentured servitude hellhole subterranean world that involves mucking through what are called muck tunnels that are formed from Acatonian sandworms that burrow below the surface. So evidently, these sandworms leave a trail of slime behind them and drop off these highly valuable nodules containing reproductive sacs. These sacs are picked up by other sandworms when they pass through because sandworms are hermaphroditic, so they can all just lay nodules and pick them up. And the nodules are very valuable for medical research, magical reagents, and as the primary ingredient of a black market intoxicant called Sting. As you guys start wandering through the tunnels, you see that they weave around in 3 dimensions, which if you've never done 3D cartography before, it's a little tricky to keep track of where you are. Plus, there are no signposts. Everything looks basically the same, just a massive tunnel, maybe 10 to 15 meters in diameter, covered in dripping slime, and tilting in its angle frequently, sometimes intersecting with other tunnels in a subterranean spiderweb that's difficult to keep intact in your mind's eye. And then there's several workers, which Spago and Scophos call muckers, that are guided by robots that seem programmed to know where they are going.
So what's Nibbles is in for?
Oh, I believe that. Let me see. Pulling it up on my data pad here. It appears that they're in for theft. Yep, petty theft and lack of repayment on petty theft, and of course the court fees. They couldn't pay the court fees, and then they had to pay the local constabulary jail fees, and then of course, naturally, they have to pay for their own food and uniforms and board here, plus sanitary materials, plus a slight overhead charge. So yes, theft in short.
So how long is their term?
Oh, we don't bother to. We have everything down to a science here at Muckrakers. It is all. It's simply mathematics. Once their debt is repaid, everyone is free. It's as simple as that.
Plus insurance, plus cost of living.
Well, they are. There is a reasonable interest rate that investors have a right to expect. So, of course, that is held because we're essentially loaning these people the money for their sustenance.
Of course. So what's their
Oh, it's very complicated. I wouldn't want you to worry yourself. And of course, they can be awarded if they are rewarded as, for instance, Mucker of the Month, or they can be penalized if they cause additional costs or trouble.
Right. I was just wondering if there's a flat fee we could bail them out in case we wanted them to be more part of the show.
Of course. Suddenly you have all three of Spago's eyes. Yes, of course. That would be wonderful. You are all great big stars that can bail out your friends. That is excellent. Simply sign here and we will arrange the transfer of credits.
Well, I need to know how much is the credits before I sign
but
anything.
I'm sure you're so wealthy. It would be so wonderful to just eliminate their thing, and you can just see that this is what their initial debts were, and then below that you'll just see the accumulated costs. And if you scroll, and then scroll again, and then you'll need to go to the next page, and then scroll some more. And then, yes, of course, just insert your credit stick or just tap it if you have an Abadar Black, but I don't suppose you have one of those. But you can just insert your credit stick here, and then we can arrange for the transfer of funds, of course.
Does it say anywhere in the document?
Oh, yeah, you can eventually get to it, and it's for Nibbles. For Nibbles alone, it's 2,300 credits, and it's about 1,500 credits per other member of the Trash Wyverns, of which there are 4 imprisoned here. So 6,000, about 8,300 ish credits.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have that much yet, but maybe if we win the next race.
You don't have that many credits yet.
No.
Oh, so are you then more aspirational?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm wondering why you're here.
Like I said, we're trying to film the show.
Well, then we can perhaps portray this as something of a
good arc. Like we come here and say, we need to just win the next race, and then we can buy your freedom. And then you say, oh, we wish you the best of luck. And then after the next race, we come back here, we buy their freedom, and there's big celebration. And everyone's rooting for us for the next race because it's not just us on the line. It's their freedom.
I don't think that people are going to like the optics of buying their freedom. By people, I of course mean my superiors. We would prefer the language pay their debt to society. That's what our lawyers have agreed to.
Oh, okay, we can work it out, right? Right, Hakabino?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, right this way. So yeah, you guys are able to walk through the muck tunnels. Eventually, Spago will hand you off to a pair of security robots along with Scophos as you guys are going deeper than he tends to go. Though he does give you a little soliloquy before he goes because he wants to get it all on camera. So he leans into Quentin and says, "So you may be wondering, how do I keep everyone in line all the time? Why, it's simple. I merely use the power of reinforcement." And then Spago pulls out some datapad device from a belt you didn't even realize he was wearing. And he says, "With a press of a button, I can make the muckers feel anything from euphoria to despair to searing pain. I can even kill them all with the mere input of a voice command code. It's tied to my DNA sequence and unique voice structure, so no one can escape. Now, good luck. Go speak with your friends. Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm going to make sure to record his voice so that I can perfectly replicate it later.
Your recording devices are shut off due to the slap rap.
Well, then how is he telling me to record if I have no recording? Aha!
That's okay.
Okay, we'll be fine. I'm going to
meanwhile-
remember his voice for later so that I can. Hello.
Exactly.
Hello. This is how
Now-
I talk.
Well, we'd have
Scophos
to chop off one of his tentacles too. So
That's true. Let me get that for you.
Scophos will meanwhile be looking around and keeping an eye on you guys and guiding you deeper in. When he sees some of the muckers slacking off and talking to one another, he growls at them. "If you've got time to yuck, you've got time to muck." "You guys, get the muck out of here!" And then he proceeds.
Oh.
So, you guys are eventually led to the Trash Wyverns, Nibbles, Thrill, Pitch, Keck, and Rachuk, and they have been able to maintain themselves as a crew. Now they're just a mucker crew, which is a much sadder crew than a Yusoki ex-orphanarium gang. But they are still together. So for a quick breakdown of the crew, as they eagerly await you and see you there, and they're excited. So you've got Nibbles. She's the leader. You've got Thrill. She's the dangerous one.
Oh,
You've got Pitch. Pitch, he's the sneaky, quiet one. Keck, she's the funny one, the boisterous, gregarious one. And Rachuk, he's the computery guy one. So
they're a 5-man band.
Right. The leader is the lancer. I get it.
That's great.
So Nibbles will approach you guys while Thrill, pats herself down and puts away a couple of her impromptu shivs that she's made out of some of the stuff she's found while mucking. You don't see Pitch. Pitch is hidden, and the other two approach as well. Nibbles. Oh, Hakabino and Vanky. We're glad to see you guys. We didn't expect to see you here. What's going on?
Well, we also didn't expect to see you here. But we are shooting a segment. For Drifters, because we're on Drifters now. We actually we made it to the big time.
Oh, you made it to the big time?
Yeah.
Guys, they made it to the big time. And everyone, all four of them actually appear and pat you guys in the back, and you guys get surrounded by Yosoki hugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So while this is happening.
Thrill is eyeing Skritic with the, are we going to have an issue here, or are we into each other?
It's got to be one or the other.
Go with B. Go with B.
Is there a all of the above?
Fine, I'll give you $5 and make it B.
Oh, man. Vangi basically takes turns like hugging / picking up each of them.
As this is happening, I'll put a hand on Nibbles as everybody is sort of greeting each other, and we're introducing everyone, and I will talk in her brain.
Ooh, clever.
Nice.
And what do you say in Nibbles' brain?
Yep. I'll be like, hey, we are trying to find information on a wreck that happened, was it 3 years ago? Did you say?
Yep.
It's the Arcadia Team Elysium's ship. I know you guys are very indisposed right now, but is there any way that you can get us any information on that? Or is there any way in which we can get information from your junkyard? And also, what can we do to help you guys out?
Cool. So while that is happening, so Nibbles is about to respond to you, but what is everyone else doing? So Vangi, you're picking up Yosoki and associating with them.
Yep.
Bob, what are you doing?
Dropping a last bit of breadcrumb that I've been dropping since we entered the tunnel.
So you can find his way out.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just standing around looking as innocent as possible.
Skritic's probably
trying
just
to collect as much information about everybody as possible. This is a great learning experience.
Well, not only that, but there's got to be like sandworm genetic material all over the place.
Oh yeah,
God, yes.
Yep.
There's definitely at least one tendril scraping the walls.
So you quickly realize, by the way, Amu, that your biolab is a better tool than these muckrakers. Like it can just do the same job but better if you tune it appropriately. And you like note how to search for the same things they're searching for better. Now it doesn't like clear the slime, so if someone's trying to clear the slime from a tunnel for some reason, it won't do that, but it's really much better at finding the nodules that they seem to be looking for. So Skritic, what are you doing?
I think for the most part, he's just kind of glaring back at the one that's kind of eyeballing me, and
her name is Thrill.
And kind of giving a bit of a wary distance.
Yep, that's how the mating dance begins.
Yeah, that's not a no.
It's not a no, but we're here on business.
And Quentin?
Quentin is trying to take advantage of the cover of bodies moving around to see if he can get these cuffs off.
All right, cool. So
it's sneaky.
Nibbles will respond in Hecubino's mind. All right, first things first. One, we've broken into the Central Records Collection office in Booster City, and that's tied to all the local scrap yards. So we can actually get the actuals on what has happened as opposed to, the official records. So if you want to give me what you're looking for in terms of a number, we can, if we're actually at the local magistrates, we can interface with that terminal and get you some information. That being said, what you could do for us is get us out of here, because I think we're all facing 10 to 20 years of work enforcement in these muck tunnels unless a sandworm eats us first.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you guys have a much better view on the logistics of busting out of here. I'm sure you guys have considered it. Should we go off and prepare, or are you suggesting that we should just start blasting now?
There's a lot of bad guys around. So, first of all, you might not be able to see them, but over there, there's what we call the walking eyes. And she mentally gestures to you, and you kind of get the sense of where to look. And there are metallic spheres held aloft by spindly insect-like legs, sporting a single eye of red glass. But there are like a dozen of them, all crawling around the tunnels at various points. Plus, there are the security robots. Now, these look like that same security robot that you guys fought with Talos.
Back in Absalon, yeah.
Yep. But there are a few of them. But these ones are also kind of broken down. Like they were clearly picked up, at half price robots.
Sure.
And then even if we were to defeat all of those, Spago could kill us all with a single command. So we need to be free of these collars, which I think the only way to be free of is to get some of his DNA and his voice code. Plus, we'd still need to either steal the device that he uses or hack the frequency or something. All while we still are under these tunnels, which I don't know my way out, and there's Scophos to worry about. So you have to defeat these, disable the walking eyes or avoid their notice. You have to get the access keys from Spago. You have to avoid Scophos as he wanders around the labyrinth down here. We have to break out of our restraints, and we have to figure our way out the tunnel. If you can do all that, then yeah, sure. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
And what does Hecubino say at that point as it all settles in for him?
Hecubino will think about it for a second and then be like, okay, so later then. Right now, you're our best lead, so we're going to see if we can do this, but there's a chance that this is all going to be, too much. Just
There's
too much.
There's a chance it could all go horribly wrong?
Yep. Well, there's a chance that we might deem the danger too high and we might pursue another avenue. Not that we don't like you guys, or, I just need you to understand that we'd be sticking our neck out pretty hard.
And then at this point, Keck will say, so guys, I know when those two are looking at each other eye to eye that there's something important going on, but I just wanted to say it's nice to see you all down here, even though I have no idea who any of you are.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Keck.
Hi, we're Amu.
This is the rest of our crew.
Cool. And with that, I think we'll call this session a wrap because I think you guys know what you have to do.
Exit
Get
the
a bunch of
facility.
money and buy them out, because otherwise that's a crazy Ocean's 11 heist.
All right, everybody, that wraps it up for this installment of Critical Hit. Thank you so much, everyone, for downloading and checking us out each and every week. Thank you to everybody who's had all the kind words to say on Twitter about Drifters. And for those of you wondering, we'll just reiterate, because I know many of us have said this before, Kevin is the smart one. Kevin is not on Twitter. So we do try to pass all the positive thoughts on to him, but if you're trying to track him down, he's not on the Twitter. So there you go. Well, I guess until next time, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2021 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.